driver and animal spotter while we're out on safari at the Harambe Wildlife Reserve today. Now, if you guys look up above your heads, you will see that animal spotting guide. That's going to help you identify a lot of the animals you may find out here. Keep in mind, this is a photo safari. I can't stop for every animal, though I will make a few quick stops for some. So please make sure your cameras are out and ready to take pictures. And I'm sure you guys have noticed too, the roads are very bumpy, so do me and yourselves a favor. Keep everything you like inside the truck at all times, and please make sure that everyone you like remains seated throughout the entire safari. So no standing up and no switching seats. Now we're going to let Stanley get a little bit further ahead of us, then we'll head into the reserve. If you guys look to your right-hand side, you're going to see our sign. It's the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. It was established in 1971. In 1998, Kilimanjaro Safaris got the permits to start doing expeditions, and we've been doing them for about 21 years now. And our first stop will be the Little Ituri Forest. Now, particularly in this area, there are several species of animals that will use their coat patterns as a type of camouflage, and that does help them hide from predators, but it also helps them hide from us. But it looks like we're in luck anyway. If you guys look down in the water on your right-hand side, it's heading towards the sun. That dark animal out there with the striped legs is called an okapi. Now, a lot of people do tend to think okapi are related to zebra, or maybe a type of antelope. But they are neither. They are the only living relatives of the giraffes. Now, if y'all want a better look at an okapi, you can always try going up the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. They do sometimes see them up that way. If you want to look down the road, following up on top of the hill in front of us there, you're going to see a couple animals. First is that big black and white bird up there. That's a saddle-billed stork. As we get closer, you want to take a look at her eyeballs. Females have yellow eyes and males have black eyes. Now, hanging out with the saddle-billed stork a little bit further to the top of the hill where the bushes are, the deer-like antelope up there are going to be greater kudu. Only males have horns, so it looks like these are going to be females. And it might be hard to tell, but they are one of the tallest antelopes in the world. The males can be 5 feet tall just at the shoulders when they're fully grown. Alright, hang on here for just a little bit. It sounds like there's some antelope ahead in the road. While we're here, though, you want to look on your left-hand side. Follow this rock wall all the way up to the top there. You might be able to see him. There is a black rhino laying down at the top of that rock there. Kind of looks like a big rock himself. You can see his face with his ears and his horns poking out there. Straight at the end of that rock wall on your left.
Maybe we need a better angle.
Now, we are very fortunate to get to even glimpse a black rhino, because unfortunately there's only 5,000 of these guys left in the entire world. And that does make them an endangered species, and it is mostly due to poaching. Poachers go after the rhino's horns. Now, their horns are made out of keratin, and keratin, it's going to sound familiar to you. It is the same substance that makes up our own fingernails and our hair as well. So the rhino's horns aren't technically valuable, but part of the reason why they do fetch a high price on the black market is because there are some cultures out there that believe that their horns hold some sort of medicinal power. That has not been proven by modern medicine, though. It's pretty much the equivalent of chewing on your own fingernails. Let's make it one more look at him up there. We are back on the move from that antelope stop here. And hopefully we'll see a few more rhinos out and about in the savannah as well, so keep on moving. Coming up here on your right-hand side, though, these are the troublemakers. The bright orange antelope are called bongos. Now, bongos are typically called the ghosts of the forest due to their shy and reclusive natures, ironically. Anyone coming up here on your left-hand side, probably going to cross the road too, or not. So just watch your hands here, guys. Like I said, pretty close. Now, you will notice her horns. Stay inside the truck for me, sweetie. You will notice her horns. They are planted backwards on her head. That's to help move through the brush a little easier. Watch your hands, please. Thank you so much. Now, unlike the greater kudu that we saw before, both the male and the female bongos have horns, so the males are just a little bit bigger. Alright, we're going to take the main road today. Now, eventually it will bring us down to the savannah, but for just a little bit we can travel along the Safi River out here. Now this is a watering hole that we normally have some good luck around. A lot of animal species need to stay hydrated and cool themselves off. So they're going to hang out around a water source. And I can't stop here, but down the water on your right, there is a now hippopotamus poking his face out. We're probably going to find a few more up ahead and better views. We're going to keep on moving.
Wait, are we going to get to do that?
There are 2 or 3.
Are we going to get to do that?
There we go. If you guys look on your left-hand side, there's a whole bloat of hippos in the water just behind the island. And I can't stop here, so I will. Also up ahead on the island on your left, the big white birds are going to be pink-backed pelicans. During mating season, it does appear as if the feathers on their backs turn pink, but it's not actually their feathers, it will be the skin underneath. Though the pelican's feathers will get that lovely pink blush because of that, they do reflect the color of their skin. These birds also have a 9-foot wingspan. So if you look above your head at the canopy, that's about as wide as that is, just about 9 feet. Keep an eye out down below for any other hippos that may be around too. As you guys saw, they look like giant rocks sometimes. But it is usually all about timing with hippos. They can hold their breath for 8 minutes. And rather than swim, they prefer to walk along the bottom of the riverbeds. Unless you're really lucky and find some out on shore like there are on your left, you typically got to try to catch them as they're coming up for you. Please stay seated though, everyone, especially up ahead of us. We're going to go across this bridge, and if you keep your eyes down to the left, there's some Nile crocodiles underneath it. Now if y'all ever see any crocs with their mouths open, don't worry too much. They're just trying to cool themselves off. I would still be very careful though. Their jaws can snap shut with 2,000 pounds per square inch of pressure behind them. That means that's hard enough to crush bone. It also means that we are getting out of here. Alright, looks like the trees up ahead are thinning out. That's a good sign that we are coming down to the savanna now. Now the savanna is more of the grassland area of the reserve. It covers most of East Africa. It's home to lots of different animal species and also some pretty gnarly plants. Over here on your right hand side, this really big tree is called a baobab tree. That's spelled B-A-O-B-A-B-T-R-E-E. Baobab tree. Sometimes it's known as an upside down tree because it does appear as if its roots are in the air. But these trees will go leafless for about 9 months out of every year to help them conserve water. And by doing so, they can actually live to be 3,000 years old sometimes. Now this one is not quite that old. It's probably just a couple of centuries or so, but they're very common on the savanna. So just keep an eye out. If you see any that are bigger, they are going to be a little older too. And speaking of things that are super common on the savanna, there's going to be a couple of giraffes down here as well. You might notice that some of them are baby giraffes too, so want to be extra careful around them. The babies are very young. I think the oldest is about a year old. The youngest is about 5 or so months old, give or take a few. Now when baby giraffes are first born, they already average about 6 feet tall, which is a good thing because on birth they have a 6-foot drop to the ground. Giraffes do spend most of their time standing up. That includes giving birth as well as sleeping, and they only sleep for 30 minutes every day. Now since I said the babies are about 5 months old to about a year old, somewhere in there, that means that they're going to be about 8 to 10 feet tall by now, so they're much bigger than you guys think. We'll swing around the other side. They're going to have a closer look at them. You might want to take a quick break from your right, though. Look out here on the left. There's a cave coming up. It's a great place to sometimes see predators at if they're trying to stay out of the sun and sleep. But it's kind of chilly in the shade, I'm sure, so I don't see anything at the moment. Keep an eye on the sunnier spots around here. There's one back behind there. Oh yeah, so just back behind that cave, hold your cameras above your head. You want to angle them forward. There are going to be some African wild dogs laying down in the sun up there. They're also called painted dogs because of their unique coat patterns. They're pretty cute and cuddly looking. But that's about it. They are one of the most successful hunters. Those dogs have a 90% success rate on their hunts. Teamwork makes the dream work. They are pack hunters, so we're going to keep on moving. Still got a good look at the baby giraffes on your right hand side there. Now here on the reserve, these are all Maasai giraffes. You can tell the difference between species by their coat patterns. Maasai giraffe do tend to have a little bit more of a messier or erratic coat pattern than most other giraffe species do. Now, if y'all ever head out to the Animal Kingdom Lodge, on their part of the savannah, you can typically see reticulated giraffes, and they're going to have a little bit more of a square or a boxy pattern on their coats. A couple adults up here on your left-hand side, babies on your right. We talked about their cousins, the okapi, back in the forest. Part of the reason why giraffe and okapi are related are because of their ossicones.
So they're just spoons.
Now, the ossicones are the horn-like structures at the tops of their heads. They're not actually horns, though. They are made out of cartilage. So if you touch your nose or pull on your ear, that's going to be the same stuff in there. Both male and female giraffe have ossicones, but only the male okapi have them.
Just crossing the road.
Let me get a good look at some of these babies here on your right-hand side. So make a quick stop. Oh, there's still an adult giraffe here on your right hand too, pretty close to the road, and she's turning, giving you a good angle. But we're going to keep on moving. There's a few more antelope up ahead of us here as well. So over to your right-hand side, the gray animals are kind of spread out along the hill. These are white-bearded wildebeest. Now, it's actually a bit of a smaller herd. Wildebeest do have one of the largest animal migrations in the world. About 1.5 million of them will migrate across the savannah every year in their annual migration. Usually goes about 1,000 miles. Hanging out in the middle of the wildebeest, right at the center of the hill on your right, you're going to see some little tiny tan antelope. These are called springbok. Now, springbok are really small and really cute, but they are not babies. They are fully grown. About 3 to 4 feet is pretty much their max. If you want to see a baby antelope, you want to look up ahead of us here. There's a small family of Patterson's eland on your right. Looks like baby is nursing at the moment. So these are 2 females and then a baby one. Baby's probably about 3 to 4 months old, judging by his size.
Oh my gosh, he's so aggressive. Oh my gosh.
Mom.
Chill out.
Now we're going to keep an eye out for a male that might be around here because Patterson's eland are one of the largest antelope species in the world. The males can be 6 feet tall just at the shoulders when they're fully grown and weigh up to 2,000 pounds sometimes. So you're going to know him pretty much on sight just because of his size. That baby is a boy, so he's going to be just as big when he's fully grown. And I do normally take the right-hand road, but we are going to be a little adventurous and take the left-hand road today. The reason I want to try this way is there's a couple of pushed over trees right here, and that's a really good sign that there may be some elephants in the area. Now, elephants often push over trees to get at the leaves at the top, and that's a good thing too. It makes way for new grasses to grow, helps to feed a lot of the animals that are grazers out here. And I have spotted an elephant. See if we can find him as well. I'll give you a hint. He's hiding in the trees. On your right. He's over to your right. In the trees. In the trees? On the right? There he is. Yeah, there you go. I know a few good water holes around the corner too we can check out. If you guys look on your left-hand side, there are some mandrills though. They're the world's largest species of monkey. They're down in the grass. They weigh about 100 pounds max. Now mandrills are terrestrial. That means they're going to spend most of their lives on the ground, but you will see them climbing rocks and trees and things. And you might see the elephant again, but like I said, we're going to try our luck around the corner, see if we can get a better angle on a few more. Then we'll head back to the main road after that. Now, one thing that is really neat that we've actually learned about elephants is that out of all the animals they could have chosen to be scared of, elephants picked bumblebees. Yeah, you betcha, it's true. Elephants are terrified of bees. And it's actually a really good thing we know that. You see, there were some farmers out here in Africa that were putting their crops into elephant territory. So the elephants were unintentionally trampling over those crops. And the farmers started using some pretty harmful methods, we'll say, to keep the elephants out. Well, we wanted to help out. We wanted to find a better solution, something that would be a little more peaceful. So we did some research here at the park, and we actually helped to discover that elephants avoid the buzzing noise that the bees make. And so we used that knowledge to our advantage. We built fences around the farmer's land, put beehives spread out along the fences, and it actually worked. The elephants stayed away, and the farmers got a new crop to harvest and sell, which was the bees' honey. And I do see some elephants up ahead of us past the rocks there on your left, so we'll come on around and try to get a good look at them. One more thing I should probably mention about the elephants. They are also an endangered species, and it is also, unfortunately, mostly due to poaching. Poachers go after the elephant's ivory tusks, and in fact, every day, 96 elephants are still lost to poaching. And that's an elephant nearly every 15 minutes. So we are very, very fortunate to get to see so many out here. So a few more coming up here on your left-hand side. In fact, this is probably a really small herd. So these are going to be any females and younger males that are still around. Both the male and the female elephants have tusks. But that also means that whenever we're able to find those peaceful solutions between human and animal conflicts, like the farmers and the elephants and the bees, we really have to do our best to take advantage of that so we can help to boost their numbers a little bit. Now we're not quite out of elephant territory just yet, so keep an eye out. Might be a few around here too. And you guys probably know what these are. Coming up here on the island on your left-hand side, the bright pink birds will be greater flamingos. Now they are the lightest and the largest of all the flamingo species. And they're not even naturally pink. They start off as gray. Eventually, due to their diet of mostly brine shrimp, their feathers will turn that nice pink color. And you might get one of those elephants too. They're heading down in that watering hole. Yeah, there they are. Looks like though we have come back to the main road, so we're gonna go ahead and head on out. Let's see what else is hanging out today. There is a small warden's post here on the left. Oh, and I think the warden actually managed to confiscate some of the ivory tusks that the poachers took from the elephants. There's a couple of rhino horns up there as well, and that's always a good thing too. It's going to help keep those out of circulation on the black market. We talked a little bit about the rhinos and their horns back in the forest. Remember, they're made out of keratin. Same stuff in our fingernails and our hair. No medicinal power to them whatsoever. So one thing our reserve does is we do partner with several organizations like the Lewa Wildlife Conservancy and the Disney Conservation Fund. Some of those organizations will sponsor educational ads in the cultures that use the rhino's horns as medicine. Those ads start local celebrities so we can get people interested. And that way we can start to teach them a little bit more about the rhino's horns and their actual properties. And that should help put a stop to some of the buying and selling, and also a stop to some of the poaching going on out here too. If you guys want to help out with that, just spread the word. A lot of people really don't know what keratin is, and the more that do, the more the information's going to get around, and we can hopefully start bringing the rhinos' numbers back up. Now keep an eye out, because we are coming into big cat country. This is another great place to see predators. So if you look at the top of the hill on your left, take off your sunglasses, past the grass on the steep slope of the hill on the left-hand side, there is a cheetah. Another one walking around up here too on your left-hand side. There might be a few more around as well, so keep an eye out. Cheetahs often live in small groups called coalitions, like an army.
Yeah. That's what you should call it.
Believe it or not, though, we are getting luckier and luckier to see predators, and not just cheetahs, but lions especially. Now, about a century ago, there were 200,000 lions in Africa, but today there are only 20,000. And that still kind of sounds like a lot, but it's actually less than the amount of people that visit this park in one day. So that makes us very, very lucky, and I'll tell you how we can help out in a second. Look at the base of that rock, though, on the left-hand side. She's right in front of that tree. There's a lioness just propped her head up. She's at the base of the rocks. We're going to come around the other side, get a better look. Maybe there'll be a few more around as well. But one thing we've started doing, though, that y'all can help out with as well, is we are sponsoring the Lion Recovery Fund. Now, that's a non-profit organization that's working to double the amount of lions in Africa. So eventually they want to have 40,000 out there. You will see some rhinos on your right. We're going to see them again, though, so I'm bound right now. Let's see if we can get a good look at these lions. Oh, yeah, there'll be a male lion laying down up there, too. And I think I can see another lioness with him, so let's come on around. But if you guys want to donate to them, go right to their website, lionrecoveryfund.org. You can donate directly to them there. It's a very simple, very easy way to help them out. Now, predators are not often thought of as being on the endangered or threatened species list simply because they're predators. But actually, all the ones we've seen today, the lions, the cheetahs, the African wild dogs, hyenas you can sometimes see here at nighttime, they are all on one of those two lists. And that's for various reasons we can talk more about in a couple minutes. Let's come on around, though, so you can catch up with those rhinos. And before we get down there, there's going to be a small sounder of warthogs hanging out in the clearing on your left. Now, warthogs are the world's largest burrowing mammal. They'll actually reuse other animal burrows to hide from predators that may be around. There's going to be some Bontebok up ahead to the small brownie antelope. Now you're going to notice the rhinos up ahead. They're kind of walking in and out of the road right now. So we get up there, we want to be really, really careful around them. Rhinos can't see very well. They only see clearly just a few feet in front of their face. Everything else just a really big blur. They charge at 35 miles an hour, weigh 5,000 pounds, and a group of them is called a crash. So it's pretty self-explanatory. But they're not very aggressive. They're just really easily scared because they have such bad eyesight. Their hearing is very, very sensitive. Now these are white rhinos. They do tend to be a little more social, so they're also a little more docile than some other rhino species are. You want to take a good look at their mouths, though. You might notice how wide and flat they are. That's the best way to tell the difference between species of rhinos is going to be by the shape of their mouths. So back in the forest, we saw that black rhino.
Oh,
He's
yes.
got more of a triangularly shaped mouth. Helps him get at the leaves and the bushes a little easier. The white rhinos, though, they are grazers. They live on the grassland out here, so they've got that wide, flat mouth. Think of a lawnmower. Helps them get as much grass in there as possible. It looks like up ahead of us we are going to be coming into an area that we call the Magadi Glen. From here we're going to be headed back to the village of Harambe. This area up ahead was actually made possible in part because of our reserves partnership with Disney's Conservation Fund. It's a great example of some of the things that they can do out there all around the world. Now last year they raised $60 million in grants toward animal conservation. So if you guys want to help out with them, you can go to any gift shop here at Animal Kingdom and donate directly to them today. You don't have to buy anything and there's no limit. Y'all can donate as much or as little as you like. Regardless, you will get a fancy button for your donation, and more importantly, Disney will actually match your donation dollar for dollar. So it's just like donating double. And that money does go out to help a lot of the animal species that we've seen on the reserve, as well as several others that you guys are going to see around the park today. Those are animals like the Sumatran tigers over in Asia, the cotton-top tamarins down by Rafiki's, as well as the elephants and the rhinos too. And like I said before, we were really fortunate to get to see a lot of the animals that we did today, and not just the ones already endangered, but if they live on the savannas. Those are animals like the lions or the cheetahs, the African wild dogs, hyenas I mentioned, the warthogs, and all the giraffes and antelope as well. They are all at least threatened due to habitat loss. And that's a big problem all around the world. But a little more specifically out here in Africa, there is mining going on for an ore called coltan. Now coltan is spelled C-O-L-T-A-N. It is used in a lot of electronic devices. So if y'all ever go to upgrade to anything new, please consider recycling or donating your old electronics. Not only could it possibly help out a fellow human being, but it may also help out some of the animals that we've seen out here too. But like I said, we are coming back to the village now. So now's a really good time to check around you. Make sure you've got all your belongings and valuables with you. I am going to be going back out on another safari, so y'all probably want to take that stuff with you. If there's any Wilderness Explorers aboard, you've been riding on the Simba 1. Now that's S-I-M-B-A and the number 1. It's on page 15 of your guidebooks. Now you won't get the badge with me though, you will get that back at the entrance to Kilimanjaro Safaris. So be down in the village on your right hand side. Look for the white umbrella with the Wilderness Explorers underneath. They're going to help you all out. So in just a minute or two we'll put up to one of these two warden stations here. So I do want to say Asante Sana, my friends, and that does mean thank you in Swahili. So thank you guys so much for coming with me and learning about the animals today. I hope you all had a good time, and once again, my name is Sam. Now once I get back up here, if y'all have any questions or anything else you'd like to add, feel free to come on up. My window is always open after all. Alright, looks like we're heading around to the far one out there. Well, if you guys do want to see any other animals that are visiting us here at Animal Kingdom, I've got some good news for you. There are animals all over the park, so you can check out any of the areas around the Tree of Life. There are lots of different trails. We do have 2 specific walking trails, though. The closest one to us is the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. And And actually, when I drop you guys off at the Warden Station here, head on up to stroller parking, grab your stroller, take it with you on the trail. The entrance is going to be down your right-hand side. It's about a 20 to 30-minute walk, so you're probably going to want it. The other trail is the Maharaja Jungle Trek, and that's going to be out over in Asia. You guys might have heard, but a couple of years ago, there were some Sumatran tiger cubs born here at the park. They're not exactly cubs anymore, but they're still really cute to look at, I'm sure, so you can always check that out too. And there was a baby gorilla born at the beginning of the summer. Her name is Grace. You might be able to see her out there as well. Both of those trails are going to close a little bit earlier than the rest of the park, though, at about 4:30 or 4:45. So want to head out there as soon as you can. As you guys just saw, we saw a lot of animals today. So morning is a great time to see them. And today is going to be a really nice day weather-wise, I believe. So you should have some good luck all the way around. But here in Harambe, we don't say goodbye because it's too sad and too final. So instead, we will say Kwaherini, and that means to go well. So Kwaherini, everyone. Kwaherini. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day in the animal kingdom or wherever your travels may take you. John the Warden. All right, guys. Kwaherini.